People around the world is actually expecting something from us.
Already hurricanes are more intense than they were, fires are up, Arctic is melting, things of this kind. It's already too late to avoid some damage. Don't worry about the water that's under the bridge. Let's deal with the stuff that's upstream.
The United Nations Climate Summit in Copenhagen has opened with fanfare and a challenge to world leaders to seize the moment.
For us, Copenhagen was a groundbreaking opportunity to really introduce the very realistic and very sobering proposition that if you have unpredictable weather, that means unpredictable harvest.
Registration lines are still 3 hours long. There are thousands of people streaming in to join the thousands already here.
This past December, I got the opportunity to travel to Copenhagen as one of 18 youth delegates from across the U.S. I wanted to represent the high school students of America and also to represent my island hometown of Alameda, which is actually due to be underwater within the next few decades.
This conference started with a hacked email scandal calling into question the very science of climate change. What is going on?
You've got 10 seconds on the evening news for your soundbite and 5 minutes in front of Congress. That advocacy model is guaranteed to create a distorted impression of the actual nature of scientific reality.
How is the handling of science going to happen differently going forward in the next assessment report? Will there be more transparency? How is the process going to change as a result of these emails?
The work we do is totally transparent, we are open, and we don't rely on any single source of data. For instance, if you look at our data sets that we assess, they come from a large range of sources. And the interesting thing is that in the fourth assessment report, all of these corroborated to give us the assessment that we have come up with.
So it's already transparent. When we submitted some questions via Twitter for this, people asked about making the raw data available. Is it available? Will it be available?
The raw data is available. All these things are accessible from the sources where we use them from. And it's not IPCC data. This is data that's been collected by a range of organizations, and all of these, as far as I know, without exception, are available to the public.
We as Americans believe that the world's supposed to be exactly the way we want it, and it's not supposed to cost us anything.
Well, I think there's no question that oil is going to be more expensive. We will probably see peak oil sometime around the end of the next decade. I don't know if I've ever heard an auto executive say that so directly before.
The oil industry, for all its advancements in technology, is still a very dirty and a very dangerous and sadly a very deadly business.
I do take issue that we are not a dirty industry. We have continued to make the cleanest burning gasoline on the planet in this state. And so we're working very hard to try to deliver a clean product to the consumer.
We can't use clean and gasoline in the same sentence without a negative in there. It's just an oxymoron.
I think the other thing that we have to make sure that we all understand is biofuels are great, but as we look to the future, water is probably going to become a more scarce commodity than gasoline. So we have to make sure that whatever the solutions are in the future in terms of biofuel, that it doesn't run us out of water any faster.
If you look at the Waxman-Markey bill, it has sort of 5 pages from everybody. And so at the end of it, you have all of those pages, and I've read the whole thing, and I've tried to figure it out. I think they meant well, but by the time they took in 5 pages from every member of Congress, you ended up with a bill that makes no sense and is actually internally inconsistent in terms of the policies that it tries to promote.
What do you think about the credibility of offsets, which are instrumental to Waxman-Markey, the idea that you can create a carbon sink in Brazil or somewhere and offsets emissions here?
Heaven help us. I mean, if you think you can game things at the national level, wait till you get to the international level.
Give us a carbon price, and the private sector will do the job. And the way Project Apollo drove IT revolution and global growth at a higher level for decades, the green economy and carbon prosperity will drive growth in the future. Coming out of this financial crisis, it's very important that we see who are the new drivers of growth. It will be the emerging market countries like India, Brazil, and China will grow much faster than the developed world. But there's another huge emerging market, so to speak, and that's the green economy.
As a matter of fact, there are billboards up there in Detroit that says, you know, Schwarzenegger to Detroit, drop dead. But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, Arnold to Detroit, get off your butt. That's what I'm really saying to them.
And recently, when the federal government passed some credits for renewable energy, I think it was $10,000 or up to 50% of a project, the residents of Wyoming snapped them all up within 10 days.
We're not stupid.
Can the U.S. really be a leader here without a national policy and with such modest proposals that they're bringing?
Well, first of all, I think that it is embarrassing that the United States does not have a policy. And I think it's also embarrassing that the United States not only has no policy, but that our policy fluctuates and changes all the time. We have 2.8% of renewables in the United States. I mean, that is pitiful.
But we still really have an energy infrastructure, a policy structure that goes back to the 1920s. This is the 21st century. We can move much faster than we've ever moved before.
Well, if you can get the government to move faster, good luck.
It would help if you would get out of the way. So I agree with you about the order. I just think we can do these things a lot faster than you can.
Well, then I'm glad we agree on that point, because there's no question in my mind that replacing coal is one of the speediest ways to get there. But you've got a coal lobby to defend against, who are getting free handouts in this new crazy bill that is in Washington.
Wait,
right?
Be careful what you ask for. I'm going to fly to Washington with you. We're going to lobby on that topic. Are you going to join me? All right, all right.